All right, parents, today we're going to be talking about balancing homeschool with work. All right, let's get started. All right, I know there's some parents out there that work full time or they might work part time. They're trying to figure out, how do I balance my homeschool with work? All right, it's not, some people think it's hard. Some people think it's easy. All right, I'm going to tell you, it's not hard or it's not easy. It's just a matter of doing it. It's just dedication. You know what I'm saying? I have the drive. The same reason that you pulled your kid out of school is the same reason that you want to have that drive to continue to homeschool your kid. Even though, you know, you're working, you might work full time. I'm here with you. You know what I'm saying? I work 40 plus hours a week and I'm still able to homeschool my child. All right. So the balance is, you want to make sure that when you get home, like for example, I get off at 1 o'clock or 1:30. I make sure that I get enough sleep. So I do whatever I do. Like for example, right now, I'm doing this video right now. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. And so after I finish this video, I get ready for bed and then I go to bed, right? So I get up about 10 o'clock. And when I get up at 10 o'clock, I do my meditation. I get my son up and we do a meditation, go outside, get some air, come back, and then we start homeschool. All right. So in between there, let's figure out how much sleep I got, right? So if I went to bed about 2:30, so 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10. So I got 7.5 hours of sleep. So that's good sleep, you know, considering that you are a full-time worker, you work full-time, and then you about to homeschool your kid. All right. So I do that every single day. Every day I do it nonstop. All right, for 5 days. And it's just having that drive. It's having that dedication. I love my child. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has their reason for, you know, pulling their kid out of school, right? My reason was my son was bullied in school. Now he wasn't bullied to the point of being physical. They wasn't physical. They were verbally abusing him, and they were, you know, taunting him, standing in front of him. You know what I mean? That type of stuff, you know what I mean? So, but that's still bullying, right? So that's the reason I pulled him out, because I didn't want it to get to the point, because I taught my son how to fight, which it actually went to that point. But you don't want it to get to the point to where now it's going to be physical, which it was. My son had to take somebody down. So I'm just saying, shouldn't be bullying them. Anyway, that's the reason I took my son out. I don't know what your reason is for taking your kid out of school to be homeschooled, but have that same drive, have that same passion, you know, because it's a passion for me to homeschool my kids. So I get up, you know, I think about the way my son was at school. I think about the bullying, and I get up. It's my passion to get up and, you know, make sure that I get him up to be homeschooled, because he's in a very safe environment. Very safe environment. So that's the way I balance it. You know, you balance it like that, and then, you know, you get his breakfast. Well, I get his breakfast, and then I get his lunch, and then from there, I get ready for work. The wife comes home, she takes over, and then there you got it. So I don't know what time that you may do your homeschool, and I don't know what time you actually start work or get off work, but I'm gonna give you an example of, let's just to say somebody goes to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, you're not gonna be homeschooling before that time, right? So if you go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, let's just say you get off at 3. If you get off at 3 and you want to homeschool your child, then you start at 4. It takes, depending on what grade level your kid is in, if the lower grades, it doesn't take that long. I'm gonna be real honest. I started my son in 3rd grade homeschooling, and it took sometimes it took only 2 hours, right? Just 2 hours to do. Sometimes it takes 3, 4, depending on, you know, how much you have in each subject. So if you can start at 4 o'clock, 5, and count 4 hours from 4 o'clock. So you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kid be finished by 8 o'clock, right? Done deal. Kid is finished with homeschool. The playtime, you know, whatever, playing video games or whatnot. So you can do it like that. Just be creative with the balancing, because but the main thing you want to do though is when you balance that, you want to make sure you get either 7 or 8 hours of sleep, because you're going to have to go to work and you get off and you're going to have to homeschool, right? So if you're working part-time, that's even better, because then you can start earlier. All right. My thing is this: before, like, if you get off of work, if you start in the morning time and you get off late, start right away. Don't start later, because if you start later, kid gonna be tired. All right. So the grades may not complement the kid. You understand what I'm saying? The later it gets in the day, the more tired the kid gets. It's the same thing with an adult. The later it gets in the day, the more tired you get. So you got to make sure that you start right away. Start right away. Now, that's like morning shift. Now, if you work in a swing shift like me, just do what I do. You know what I'm saying? If you get off at 12 o'clock in the morning, you get off at 1 o'clock in the morning, you get off at 2 o'clock in the morning, wake up about 10. You know what I'm saying? 10 or 10:30 or 11, get your homeschool kid up, start your homeschool program, do whatever you do. You pray, you meditate, start your homeschool program. All right? It'll probably last, 4 hours? So you figure even if you start at 11, you got 12, 1, 2, 3. 4 hours, done. Right? By 3 o'clock, homeschool kids should be done, depending upon how much work they may have in the homeschooling program. So, for example, my son is in the 8th grade now. I started him in 3rd grade. When 3rd grade, it wasn't that long at all. It was very short. 3rd, 4th, 5th grade wasn't long. 6th wasn't really long. 7th started getting a little bit longer. 8th grade is a lot longer. It could be a little bit time consuming. So sometimes he go over 4 hours. He might go to 5 hours, because sometimes he have projects in his science. He got science projects. He got history, sometimes history projects. He has to write essays in his ELA, which is English Language Arts. So he has to do that. So sometimes it tend to be just a little longer, and then sometimes it can be just a little bit short. Like I remember one week, he was finished within 2 hours, because the curriculums it wasn't that much. All right, so it all depends. But however it may go, you want to balance it out. Now, balance it out by you making sure you get enough sleep. Balance it out by making sure that your kid gets enough sleep, right? That way, you will have enough energy for homeschool, and you will have enough energy to go to work and not be tired and groggy as well as your kid. You know what I'm saying? You won't be tired and groggy. So, that's how I balance my homeschool curriculum with full-time work. I make sure that I get myself enough sleep. Okay, that's balancing it out. Get enough sleep, getting up, getting my son, starting him up, and he getting enough sleep. My son gets 10 hours, probably 10, 11 hours of sleep when he goes to bed. He goes to bed at 11, right? Because he starts late, so it's okay. Like I said, make sure that you get enough sleep. That's just the bottom line. You got to balance it out, because if you don't get enough sleep, it's not going to be a balance. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be pain. It's going to be hurtful. It's going to be, I don't want to do this. Like, this is too much. If you only got 4 hours of sleep, 4 hours is 4 hours of sleep. If you only got 4 hours of sleep, guess what? You ain't going to want to do this no more. You can't do 4 hours every day. I'm just going to let you know that right now. You cannot sleep for 4 hours every day and think that you go homeschool and think that you go to work and not be tired. It ain't gonna work like that. It's just not gonna work like that. So I can't stress this enough to you guys. Make sure that you get enough sleep. I'm just telling you, bro. I know from experience. Get yourself enough sleep. Now, I've been homeschooling for 6 years now. All right. Get yourself enough sleep so you can balance it out. It's a great balance when you get enough sleep. It don't matter what time you start homeschool. When you get enough sleep and your child gets enough sleep, it balances out the whole program. All right? Because both of you guys are ready to homeschool. You guys ready to go. All right? Hope that was a great tip for you for balancing out homeschool and having a full-time job. Like I said, it is the dedication, it is the drive, it is the passion. Like I told you, this is a passion for me to do this. To me, it's an honor for me to be able to homeschool my son, to have my son here at home with me. He's safe. He's safe with me, right? He's in a safe environment. He's in a loving environment. It's a beautiful thing. And that's how you got to look at it. That's how I look at it every day that I wake up when I homeschool. That's how I look at it. I'm like, my son is safe. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure that I give him the best environment possible, the best balance. I'm going to do my part by getting enough sleep so that I can balance myself out, not be groggy. You know what I mean? So balance yourself out and making sure the kid gets enough sleep so it can be a complete balance. Okay? You guys probably thought it was a whole bunch of stuff. How do I balance it? No, you need to get enough sleep. So you figure out what time you work. If you work at 9, you get off at 6. You know what I'm saying? However you want to do that, however you want to start, 9 to 6. You know, let me tell you a quick story. But excuse me, quick story. My son has a friend. His friend does all his homeschooling Saturday and Sunday. He gets it all done Saturday and Sunday. He's off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He's off those days, and he gets all his homeschooling done over the weekend. Now, I thought about that. I'm like, well, that sounds pretty cool. What if there was a situation where you are only able to homeschool Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Guess what? You can. When I thought about what his friend does, you could homeschool Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know what I mean? You don't have to, you have to understand, it is not like you have to homeschool every single day. They have a curriculum, and when they have that curriculum, you can actually go ahead on days. You know, you can go ahead. Let's just say like you have the 13th. Let's say February 13th, right? All that day's work is there. If you do that, February 13th, February 14th opens up, right? So you can do that. You can get your work done like that. It's a whole bunch of ways that you can balance it out. You don't have to go Monday through Friday, okay? You can go Thursday through Sunday. You can go Friday through Monday. You can go Monday to Wednesday. I don't know what that thing is. You can go Monday to Wednesday. It doesn't, however it works for you as a balance. You balance it out. But all I'm telling you is make sure that you get enough sleep and do not overwhelm your child with crunching all that together. Somehow my son's friend is able to do it, over the weekend. But, you don't want to get to a crunching, because when you get to the crunching, that's going to make your child tired, okay? So you can test it and see if that might work for you. My suggestion for me, I do Monday through Friday, okay? Monday through Friday, so we can even it out, and then he'll have the weekend off, all right? All right, guys, hope that was a great tip for you for balancing homeschool with full-time work or part-time work. Just balancing it out, all right? I'm the Homeschool Dad. I will see you in the next video tip.